Hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today. I know it has been a little bit since I did an update. The last update I did was right before I went to Germany. And since getting back, life has just looked really crazy and not at all what I thought it was gonna look like from coming back. I started a new job, which has been amazing and wonderful, and I feel like I say that all the time on here because I've had a couple of different jobs in the last year and a half. But I am so happy to be at this job, to be working at Moody, to have met the incredible students that I've met, to be working with people I love and respect. It has just been awesome. I'm so thankful for it. But there's also been a lot of hard stuff going on and a lot of things in my family life and in my personal life that has just been like totally beyond my control and has definitely just taken up a lot of my emotion and time and focus. So I did not get to do an update as soon as I wanted to, but I'm here now, and I just want to tell you all that Germany was incredible, getting to spend that time with my team. It was everything that I was talking about, just like spending time with them, fellowship together, having fun, talking, going on walks and different activities, and praying together and worshiping God together, and just talking about our mission, our vision, our future, everything that needs to be happening. Like it was exactly everything that I thought it was going to be in ways that were sweeter than anything I could have expected. My team is just so affirming and supportive and encouraging, and they just love me so well, and I feel like we're just one big family, and they've been incredible the last few months that I've been back, just constantly checking in on me and calling me and messaging me and just seeing how I'm doing, letting me know they're praying for me. Just making me feel so much a part of the team, even though I'm still so far away. And just the thing that I can't get past from that week and continuing on is how much they really believe in me and believe in this calling on my life and believe that this is what God has, and just called out again and again and again how they see God's path like so clearly laid out in my life, like that everything has come together to take me to this point. And I was just in a season where I had been going for so long in a state that felt very alone and very lonely, and I was just tired and a little bit weary and a little bit confused. I was very honest about that in my last video, confused about what it was that God, if this was still what God was asking me to do, and for them to just be like, this is like, we see it, Kori. This is so clearly a path that God has you on, and it's for a reason, and we can't imagine our team without you, and we can't wait for you to be here, and we see you, and we love you, and we're a part of this with you. And it reminded me of the story of Moses when his arms grew too weary, and Aaron and, someone else I don't remember, came and held them up so that he could keep participating in the battle in the way that the Lord had for him. And I just felt like that's what that week was my teammates coming alongside of me, and the last few months just coming alongside of me and holding up my arms when I just couldn't do it anymore. So that's my little update from Germany. It was just such a sweet time, such an affirming time, and a really just enlightening time and vision casting time for what the future has and what the future can hold, and what specifically my future with Pioneers Europe will look like. And my role hasn't changed. Their need for me hasn't changed. The one thing that is up in the air to potentially change is location. And that's something I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I know this whole time I have been very set on a location, and that's been the goal, and that's been the aim, and that's been the direction that we've all been heading towards together for such a long time. And God just kind of opened my eyes to what exactly it was He's calling me to. And I know He's calling me to Europe, and I know He's calling me to this team. Now, where that means I'll be in Europe, I don't feel like it was as much of a hard, fast call. I feel so certain that this team is the team he has for me, that this is the work that he has for me. But the thing is our team is fairly spread out within the continent. And the whole purpose of me originally planning on going to the Netherlands is so that I could be on location in the same place as the director of Pioneers Europe. That specific director is no longer in that position and in that location. I've mentioned to you before that he stepped down. He moved back to the States because that's what was best for his family. And we now have a new director who I got to meet in person for the first time while I was in Germany. And he is not living in the Netherlands. He is living in the Czech Republic, which is crazy because if you know my story, you know that that's where my missions journey all started. So there was talk about the possibility of me either moving there to Prague, or the possibility of me moving to Hungary, probably the Budapest area, where another just very vital couple in our team live, and a couple who I've known this entire time. I traveled to Hungary during my internship and was with them the whole time. They showed me around. They have daughters around my age, and they've just totally taken me in as like their third daughter, and they call me their daughter. And I got like matching slippers with the Wi-Fi in Germany. And yeah, they're like my missionary parents, and they love me so well and so dearly and so closely. And there's also a whole other team of Americans working in Hungary, so there's that community there too. So we've just been talking and going through the possibilities of what it could look like for me to start somewhere else, for me to start somewhere that would require a little bit of a lower budget, because as much as I love the Netherlands and it's so beautiful and incredible and I would love to live there, it is very expensive. And their visa process and all of that, there's just a lot of set rules, and it's a really intense process, and it's just making everything, it's just put so much on hold, and it's put such a constraint on me instead of freedom on me to go and do this thing. And so right now we're just talking about, not saying the Netherlands is off the table forever. Who knows what God's going to do? He's changed locations on me many, many times within my calling, and I don't mind that. It's more of the purpose to me that I care about, and a nation and a people. And I feel like I could serve just as effectively, and a community in Hungary could be just as in need for someone's ministry like me as a community in the Netherlands. So Hungary is high up on my list of considerations right now. Czech is still in a consideration, but there's a couple more complicated factors surrounding Czech. So we're just working through that as a team and figuring it out. I'm fairly confident that Hungary will be the move, and I'll let you guys know if and when that becomes official. But I entered into this new year coming away from a really hard year, and a lot of things that have just been painful, and a lot of losses, and a lot of just, it's a hard time for everybody, and it's a hard time in life to be in the life stage that I'm at. And I know that there's a lot of people who have gone through a lot this year too. And as I stepped into 2022, I took a day, I didn't even know, I went to Bible college, but I don't know all the Bible things all the time and all the church things all the time. And I didn't even know Epiphany was when it was. And then I listened to this podcast that was all about Epiphany, and it came out on Epiphany, and I just randomly clicked on it that day, and it just encouraged the listeners to skip a meal and fast during Epiphany. And I was like literally getting ready for work, and I was like, I could just not bring lunch with me to work, and I could just eat when I get home. And so that's what I decided to do. And Epiphany, I think, is just this beautiful time to slow down and reconnect, and it's part of the church calendar, but it falls in such a significant part of our just culture's calendar, which is the beginning of a new year. And I just felt like this piece surrounding 2022, that this is the year for movement, and this is the year to just refocus and kick things into gear, because so far my journey in support raising has been crazy because COVID's been crazy, and my church has gone through a lot of transition and all of these things. And I just feel like while things aren't back to normal in the world, there's a moment for me to recenter and accept my normal that God has for me in life, and to just kick it into gear and to do it and to go for it with a new kind of fervency and a new kind of determination. One of the hardest questions I get asked is, when are you leaving? For the longest time, the answer has been, I don't know. And I want to not know, but I want to give an answer. And I want to say that 2022 is the year that, at least if I don't go, I'll know. I'll know when I go. And I would love to make it a goal that by the end of 2022, I kind of have this vision in my mind of like being ready to launch by my birthday, by December 29th. So the very end of the year, being ready to launch, being ready to go. And that doesn't mean I'll be there at the end of 2022 because moving overseas is a huge, long process, but being ready to launch, being ready to make that move, being at full support, having those visa applications in, looking for a place to live, and making the transitions that I need to in life, and setting up the things that need to be set up for that to happen. So that's the goal that I want to share with you all. That my epiphany, my revelation of 2022 is that there's no reason it can't be. There's no reason it can't be 2022. I just want to honor everyone's investment in me and let you know that there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about it and think about what people have done for me and the way people believe in me and how much my heart just like yearns to obey God and walk into this with everything that I am. And I just like, I really believe that God's gonna get me there. I really do. Because I know it's what He's calling me to, and what He calls, He fulfills. And I'm thankful for all of you. And I'm thankful for this crazy year and this crazy last 2 years, even though it's been so hard. Because I know all of it's just going to make that day where my feet touch the ground so much sweeter. I'm excited to do 2022 with you all. I'm excited for what God has. I'm excited to see the way this call is continually affirmed and fulfilled. And we're going to do it. Like, God's going to do it. He will. God's going to do it. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what's going on. That's what's new. And that's all I've got for you. And thank you for being here and being one of my people. Thanks, guys.